This video is a transvestigation on Dua Lipa. And before I get into the transvestigation, I'm going to read from the book of Revelation, because this is a deception that is on a biblical scale, and it's earth-wide, and it has to do with Babylon in the Bible. So let's read this and then get into it. Revelation chapter 17. And there came one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters, with whom the kings of earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. And if you've never seen this video before, it's worth going and looking this one out. It's very similar to when Jim Carrey was making fun of NASA. Here, Colbert was being very truthful about how famous people serve as idols, and that they think of themselves as, they are Babylon in the Bible. The whore that sits on many waters. It's this culture of satanic people. Hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. They've agreed to not out each other as being evil. They're all team evil. And so they play along with each other, and they're in every country, does the same. They're a part of this deception. There's more deceptions out there, great deception upon the earth. Satan is a deceiver, and the whole world is deceived. But this is a big one that every country is a part of this. Every country, their idols, their famous people, will have switched skeletons. And it's not just famous people either. These people have to come from somewhere. These people do eugenics programs on the public too. So intersex conditions are rampant today. Let's get into the transvestigation. I'm going to just stick to the skeleton and break it down. It comes down to skulls and bones. There's a reason why that secret society is called Skulls and Bones. And there's a reason that the media is obsessed with talking about people's cheekbones. And it's always referencing human anatomy and bone structure. They're going to talk about bone structure, human anatomy. They're constantly, joking about each other being inverted, the other skeleton. And, think of all the cross-dressing, etc. Transvestigation, it comes down to bone structure. What is the bone structure of this person? Is this masculine bone structure? Is this feminine bone structure? You can see the wide, square shoulders and the Adam's apple. This shot really seals the deal right there. Where are the hips? Women are supposed to have hips, and this thing is like a ruler. Widest in the shoulder. They put a little ruffle, I guess, where the hips are supposed to be, but it's like sucks in there. Got the classic hip dip, which is a masculine pelvis feature. They like to use fashion, to dazzle people a lot of the times. That's what glamour magic is. Fashion, makeup, that's actually fallen angel knowledge that was given to humans. And so I assume that, the fallen angels were probably the ones that began this gender bending thing. And they probably forced intersex conditions, and they probably were teaching people how to act like the other gender and make up your face and use fashion to dazzle people into fool them, because this is all about the long legs. Women have long legs, so that's why high heels exist. Well, also posture differences, but they're all about fooling people with glamour magic. And I think most natural women would have a really hard time stomping around in boots like this, but the MTF, they like to flaunt how their athleticism a lot of times over. Oh, warning! Okay, I forgot to do a warning at the beginning. This is a barf bag video. Go grab your barf bag now. I want to just go through the slides because they're so obvious. Orange, they have an obsession with the color orange because it equals 33. These are terrifying. If you can't tell that this is a transgender, Uh, it almost even looks like they try to use Photoshop to make the head look a little bit smaller, but that is a creature of the night. The torso, that is not a female torso at all, not even remotely close. Nothing about this creature is feminine. Terrifying. Very wide joints. That is a very wide elbow joint. Nothing dainty about this one. And they dump a lot of money into them, shave them up, slather them in oil. Oh man, but you get a candid shot of them, and what is even going on? We got more orange. We have checkerboard. They talk in signs and symbols. These people are obsessed with symbolism. That's why they're constantly doing the hand signs and sticking out their tongue and closing one eye and doing the 666 hand sign and wearing specific colors, wearing specific patterns. Because that's part of the club, is speaking in signs and symbols. So here we have a butterfly, one of their favorite symbols because transformation. But you can see that is a male torso, 100% straight up and down, very large rib cage, no body fat. So women have a subcutaneous fat layer that it makes it so their bones don't pop out so easily. But like when you think of your average female celebrity, they have that bony chest, you know, like above their fake boob area in the middle. A lot of times their boobs look so wrong because so many of them get implants. But anyways, you know the bony upper chest? That's a masculine thing to have such a bony upper chest, because women should have a fat layer underneath their skin all over their body. It's called the subcutaneous fat layer. They used to teach about this stuff in school, but they don't do that anymore. These are some large, square, or rectangular kneecaps. Women's kneecaps should be smaller and rounder and hidden behind some fat. So this was hilarious. You can go look up more pictures. Look how uncomfortable. He is like, kill me now, because you can imagine. There's probably Photoshop happening here to make the waist even more extreme. But he was really tightly put in a corset or something for this. There are some hilarious images of this person in this dress. They couldn't even sit down because this dress was so... I can only imagine what the dressing room was like trying to fit this one into this thing. So we got the 3 stripes on the left and then the 3 stripes on the right to hit their favorite number, 33. So I believe that's probably why it's 3 and then 3. They like 33. And then this is very phallic, this idea. That's very phallic. And even this, they got 2 balls on their necklace. I believe this one is fully intact. Large, square jaw, big ears that are low down, eyebrow ridge. They're tilting their face downward, so you can't really tell the ears, but having low ears is very masculine. Look at those hands. Okay, see how the hands are pasty white and kind of reddish? This one's popping estrogen as if it's going to make a difference, and I don't know. Taking testosterone really does transform a female into a free martin. But you take a real man like Dua Lipa and you crank them full of estrogen, it's not going to change their skeleton. I think it's more of a confidence boost for the MTF than anything, and a brain thing. It makes them feel more like a woman. Man, I feel like a woman. Next. Oh, back to this. Gross. They often will stick them next to one that's even like crazier. Like this one has even wider shoulders on the right, as an alleged female with that bone, that huge collarbone that's sticking out. And then the shoulders on the left. Look at the shoulder structure of these people. How come the person on the left has very narrow and sloped shoulders compared to, I think this is an instance where they stuck Dua Lipa next to someone that's even wider shoulders. Don't know what else to say about this. Next. Oh, is this real? Is this really this person, Dua Lipa? This image came up and it is horrifically transpicious. So I'm just gonna move to the next one. Oh man, there was another one. Did I not get that? Oh, this one. Oh, if that doesn't send off your transgender radar. Very transpicious. This looking MK Ultra'd out here on drugs probably. And yes, of course, being famous, you get access to all sorts of drugs, but a lot of times they use it against them. I think they get them hooked, you know. Think of, uh, oh man, the Wizard of Oz lady. Why can't I think of her name right now? Or Michael Jackson. You know, Michael Jackson spoke a lot against the industry and particular groups of people. And so I think a lot of times they do, yeah, they get them hooked on drugs, but then they can yank them around with that and keep them all messed up. And so much abuse in the industry, but they're a part of it. They're a part of the team evil. So the cat stuff, I think that a lot of times that's imagery that they like to use with their like ones that are supposed to have the sex appeal, right? And they may or may not serve as like temple prostitutes for the higher ups. It just reminds me of Courtney Love outing Harvey Weinstein. Don't ever go to a party by Harvey Weinstein. You could imagine that it gets gross really fast with these perverts. And yeah, I think that they're kind of like prostitutes for the elites. But just a dead look in the eyes, and that the jewelry was very telling. It seems like a lot of times they wear jewelry that makes it seem like they're a slave, you know? Gross. Look at this. What kind of a woman sits like that? And then they got the tea, the orange tea. Ugh. I'm glad that I didn't get a better shot of this. Oh, what is this? More phallic imagery up here? What does this look? It's, you got the Mickey Mouse ears, and then the thing pointing up. I mean, come on now. Nasty armpit. I'm just talking about this because this is something that I don't really remember hearing many transvestigation channels talk about this, but it's a good indicator. The armpit. Men have large, more vacuous, cave-like armpits. And since we don't have that subcutaneous fat layer, yeah, it's more cavernous. Whereas a natural woman with a subcutaneous fat layer and daintier bone structure, you're not going to have such a cavernous. It's more soft and smooth, less muscular and cavernous as this one. Here we got the standard imagery. They have to show you what team they work for, and this is a way that they communicate through signs and symbols. That's why you got, is it Neil Armstrong or Buzz Aldrin? I think it's Buzz Aldrin with the doing the 666 over one of his eyes. And I mean, they all do the same things to show their allegiance to the beast. And yeah, I mean, this is really what woke me up to God. When I saw that, I was like, wow, these people really believe in the Bible. These people really believe this stuff and have aligned with Team Evil. It just became really clear to me, like, oh yeah, that, man, they're really all in on this Team Evil stuff. And the Kali mocking tongue and the one eye symbolism, disgusting, very unfeminine. They got some duality ideas here too. And I mean, wearing men's clothing. But I was just looking at the difference in the collar is a little weird. But wearing men's clothing, right? More butterfly, 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 butterfly. One of their favorite symbols of transformation. Compare to who's got the subcutaneous fat layer. But I mean, this is so many people today are born, men today are mostly free martins, honestly. And so nobody's gonna think that's weird at all for a man to have a pudgy belly. But really, men shouldn't have pudgy bellies like that. That's a soft subcutaneous fat layer that gives women a softness around their whole body. Compare the shoulder structure. This guy's got slopey shoulders. And they just stick a suit on him, I guess, to try to cover it up. A lot of times, fashion goes over the top in that direction. To think of the 80s, and they get everybody wearing shoulder pads. It makes it a little less obvious. Or you have an excuse. Oh, that person, their shoulders look big because they're wearing shoulder pads, when in reality, they just have ginormous shoulders. I've mostly said everything that there is to say. I mean, these last images will just speak for themselves. But this is a magic spell that needs to be broken. And sometimes it just needs to be pointed out. And that's it, to stop the gaslighting of the people saying, what are you talking about? They're so feminine. And that's probably the biggest issue that you're going to run into when waking up to this, is that this club is big. Think of, is it George Carlin? It's a big club. He did not say it's a medium-sized club. He did not say it's a small club, or it's, you know, sort of big. He said it's a big club, and it is very big, and people know about it all over the world, and you don't have to be famous to know about it. And it hits very close to home to a lot of people, and these people will lie to the grave about this stuff. They will lie to the grave and deny to your face that these people look at all masculine. It is a huge gaslighting operation by these inverted skeleton people, and they're in your life. They are in your life, guaranteed. People that already knew about this stuff, but it hits close to home to them, and that's why they will gaslight you to the grave, telling you that these people are so feminine. But it's all of them. Literally all of them. Birds of a feather flock together, and it's easier for them to keep it secret because they all share the same secret. It's like a mutually assured destruction. They give the MTF a fake widowspeak sometimes. But look at this Kiora comment. Is Dua Lipa transgender? Yes, absolutely. They all are. They literally all are. And it's kind of a waste of time to go down that rabbit hole of prove this one, prove that one. But, you know, and wake one person up to this deception, it's huge. It can change their life. It changed my life. This is how I found Jesus, through Transvestigation and Flat Earth. Both brought me to Jesus. So that's it for this video. God bless everyone.